right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Survivor True Fans Unite, also known as STFU. My name is Jay, and I'm one of your hosts. And we're going to be talking about Survivor 48, Episode 4, titled The House Party's Over. But with me, I have a group of guys who is just starting this house party. And let's start with Tone. How you doing today, Tone?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. Thanks, man. And then we have Andre. Andre, how you doing?
Doing great. Glad to be here. Another week, another discussion. Excited to be here.
And then we have Bobby. How's your day going, Bobby?
Good. Thanks for having me. I even watched the episode with sound, I should add, which is probably better than Andre can say.
Just
Since
'cause
he
I can't
butchers the
afford
names so
sound.
much, I would have just assumed that he's never heard them.
Wow, shots fired
Wow.
early. Here we
Whoa,
go. Here we go.
It's
Insert-
gonna be a
All
good one.
right.
Insert laugh
Alright.
track, Jay. Insert the laugh track.
I wish I had one.
Wow.
Well, when we start making some money, then I'll put a laugh track in here. And then we have Coach Mitch. Coach Mitch, who just won junior girls basketball final this week. How you feeling about that?
I'm feeling pretty relieved and super excited for the girls that I'll put in a lot of hard work on this year. So happy that they were able to achieve all their goals.
All right, shout out to them.
Mhm.
Okay, let's get this party started. Let's talk about that elimination. Whew. Thomas gets idled out by Kyle. And based on some breaking news, and well, actually in another episode, we found out that Kyle actually did play that extra vote that Camilla gave to him.
You heard it
And
here. That's right. For all who didn't hear it, you know it now.
hey, if you didn't hear from the other podcast, you're hearing it from here. Yes, that's right. And the reason why they did that, looking at all the discussion online there, is because if the California girls switched their vote and they all put 3 on Camilla, well, now they have 3 votes, right? Kyle, Camilla, and the extra vote to tie that up. So they would have tied it up, and on the revote, Kyle would have been safe. Camilla and Thomas would have been safe, right? Because they were voted for and tied. So it would have been Kyle, Joe, and Shoheen voting. And it really actually didn't matter at that point because they couldn't vote for Kyle. And so it would have been one of those two going home. So they had to play the extra vote because just in case those 3 switched it and voted to Camilla, they had to tie it up so it could go to revote. Otherwise, Camilla would have went home.
Yeah.
So they weren't actually totally sure that all 3 votes were going to go in Kyle. So that's why they had to play that extra vote just in case they didn't. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go to Bob. Bob, what do you think about Thomas going out?
Well, it's too bad because I liked where his story arc was going, but they assumed too much. Well, Shoheen failed at going through the bag looking for idols, and they just all assumed that nobody had one. They are all good to just go with their 3 votes as is, and they got outplayed. It was good to see how Kyle and Camilla hit the ground running in the swap. Kyle picked up on all her cues really easy. They didn't need any pre-discussion, and those 2 were thinking ahead and really playing. The few of these other characters were just thought it would be too easy.
Totally. You could tell that that they probably didn't ever think that they would have both an idol and an extra vote. So yeah.
It's too bad they didn't get to save the extra vote for the next vote. If it ends up 2-2, and then they would have another one, they'd really be running the show. But fingers crossed. I like this tribe, and I hope that they don't go back to tribal council.
Mm-hmm. Mitch, you had some thoughts?
I have thought that there's an unfortunate for Thomas to go because he had an advantage that nobody knew about. So that would have been cool to have that revealed at some point, but now we'll never know about that advantage anymore, right? So
yeah, that's right. Joe and Shoheen will never know that he kept that from him.
Yeah,
from them.
Yeah.
I want to let's flip it over to Andre. Let's talk about them, Kyle and Camilla picking Thomas. Was that the right decision for them?
Yes, as a for me, I would say yes, it was the right decision. From viewership, I think it was good because we can see how Kyle, how Thomas was not very, like, he was sneaky and he was playing the game right, but the fact that Camilla called him out, or didn't call him out, called out the general journey out, raised doubt, and then the doubt was planted for a second. I thought it was going to be a bit more doubt, but I think they stuck with the plan and they didn't change it, which I thought was key. A lot of people, oh, I don't know if they're going to buy it. Let's change it to this person now, and then they kind of spiral. In the power rankings, if I can just bring that up quickly, this week I had a hard time putting Kyle and Camilla. I had them both for like 4 and 5, and Camilla at 4, and Kyle at 5. Just because I was like, well, Camilla came up on the spot with like, oh, we're not even that close with Kyle, and it's okay. And then I thought that was so good, but then I thought it was even better that Kyle played it off so well, and he picked up on those cues. Because you can give out, like, I give amazing passes to Bobby at basketball, but he, like, 80% of
Oh,
those
jeez.
passes, he drops them. So
I've
Wow.
seen it happen.
you've seen it happen, right? So it's like you can have a great play, but you have to have both sides pick up on it, right? So I thought that was kudos to Kyle to go along with it and not even to hold his facial expressions, like, and not give anything away was beautiful. So I was like, you know what, I got to give them both a 5 because they both executed that so well, and they kept it going till the end until they realized what was happening when it was too late. So I think in the years I've been watching this, and hasn't been that many, I feel that this was a well executed blindside.
Yeah. Yeah. Great
Andre,
acting, Joel.
Camilla did call out Thomas, like that she was the one that's that she talked to Star and said that they had the place. So she was
Yeah,
calling him
but
out.
but she didn't call him out in a way that like Eva calls out people. Oh yeah, we want to vote this person out. She was like, well, yeah, we had to play it. So from what I understand, there was no choice to play. But that's what I heard. Kind of feeling it didn't come across as very like it was this way or no other way. Like it just raised enough doubt to not put suspicion on her or make her look like she's out there trying to call people out. She's like, this is just kind of what it was told to me, and it was nicely done.
And my thoughts are, going for next episode, Kyle and Camilla could say, we took out the guy that we think was lying to you, Joe and Shaheen, and so it should be a little bit thankful for to us for that. Like he was the most shady out of all you three. That's something.
I think that tribe's in a good spot. Like Bob said, like they're a likable tribe. He likes them. I think I like them. They should be good for
Oh
the.
shoot! I changed my mind now.
Oh, okay. But I think they're a great tribe. They'll be good as long as they work together. I think they're a very strong tribe to be able to work together, and I feel that in the future they can even work secretly together as well. So we'll see.
Let's see. Well, that's a good segue. Let's for all the new listeners. What we do before our recording session starts is we rank each remaining player out of 5, 1 to 5, or 5 being the best, and we come up with the power rankings, the STFU power rankings. And so for this Vula tribe, we have Camilla and Kyle actually at the top, both tied with 4.8. Then we have Joe at 3.4 and Shoheen at 2.6. The biggest, we were pretty much agreeing on all the ratings except for Joe, where the biggest disparity is between myself and Tone. I gave Joe a 2, just because those California girls were pretty much all duped, or they believed everything that Kyle and Camilla said. But Tone gave Joe a 4. So Tone, why the 4 for Joe?
I think so. The California girls voted together because they just were thinking numbers, but I don't think he didn't mean any. He wasn't scheming about it. It just kind of made sense. And I don't think he was being aggressive or negative to the Kyle or Camilla. So even though their plan didn't work out, I think he can still work with Kyle and Camilla.
Yeah.
And he seems pretty trustworthy still. So I don't think he lost much ground because of how the vote went.
Yeah, good points. Sorry, Bob and Andre also gave Joe 4s. You guys
I agree with Tone. Like, Joe wasn't shown digging through the bag or even in the site during that, so he can wave that off. Like, I wouldn't have even allowed it if I was there, site type of thing, and I don't think he even would consider it, being the type of guy that he is. And I don't know. Compared to the others on the Shoheen had a bunch of bad reads in not assuming that they had anything and just running with that assumption. And I think Joe was just solid. He's just going with his alliance.
I agree with the same thing. I would just say. Go ahead, Mitch.
Go ahead, on. Nope. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, I was just gonna say I agree with that as well with what Tone and Bobby saying. The only question I have for you guys is, did anyone feel like Shohin looked uncomfortable looking through the bag, like he didn't want to do it, but more of a pressure from Thomas, like you kind of have to do it? Because I had the impression that he kind of looked uncomfortable doing it, and that's why he didn't really look through it, right? He just kind of like put his hand and tried to feel for stuff. So that's where I felt like, I'm like, oh, okay. And that's where I also think it was a good move to take out Thomas, because he was making him do things that I don't think they feel comfortable doing.
Mitch, you want to answer that?
Yeah, I was gonna just like ask would you guys be like Bob's that already that he wouldn't be comfortable looking through people's bags, and I like watching them go through Kyle's a bag. I was a little uncomfortable with that, but at the same time, it is a Survivor, right? And you gotta know that people are going to go as far as searching your bag, so get on Kyle for putting it in his shoe. Yes. So it did look like Thomas was egging them on, and if you are going to look through someone's a bag, you should really look through someone's a bag. If you're stooping that low, you cannot make a mistake like that.
Yeah, totally agree. And you guys are right. I think it was Thomas that was kind of egging Shoheen on. It was Thomas egging, like suggesting to throw away that puzzle clue, that beware advantage clue away too. So it seems like Shoheen is on the fence on these things, and like Thomas is like the devil on his shoulder, sort of telling,
well,
do it.
I don't like Thomas is wrong in saying it per se.
No.
It just depends on what type of gameplay you want to be seen as. Like, if you want to be the villain, be the villain like that. So,
yeah. And I just want to say, Andre, I see your hand up, but I just want to say it's too bad, because I think Thomas was going to be one of the villains, if not the main villain of this season, but now he's gone. Yeah. So go ahead, Andre.
I was going to ask you why you gave Joe 2.
Oh, yeah. I just gave both Joe and Shoheen 2s because they bought everything that that Kyle and Camilla were selling, and like I don't know. Maybe they didn't show it, but it seemed like they should have had at least a little bit more concern about advantages and idols and things like that. Maybe they did think of it, but they didn't show it. So it just seemed like they weren't really thinking. They weren't really as concerned as they should have been.
well, yeah, they were thinking of it. That's the why did they searched Kyle's a bag in the first place.
Yeah, true. But like you said, not thorough enough.
They just acted it so well. Like, it was amazing how well they acted. And
especially Camilla while Shoheen was doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? She was right there beside him.
Well, that was foolish to do it in front of her.
At 1 second, I thought she was gonna be like, maybe we shouldn't do that, guys. But in my head, I was like, don't say that because you're going to like call yourself out,
Yeah.
though. And I was, yeah, so that was good.
And that just showed how much they trusted Camilla, right? Like when she said that she wasn't with Kyle and that they were not together. So that just really good acting.
That's what made
When
me
they,
believe they didn't use the second vote because
yeah,
they trusted her enough that they could do that in front of her. They weren't going to vote her off. So I thought that the second vote wasn't voted off, which is why you broke that news earlier that they did use that second vote.
Yeah, it was wasted,
Huge.
unfortunately.
Because I think this stuff puts a huge target on Kyle and Camilla's up back. Is that something that Joe and Shoheen go back and they tell their tribe mates at the merge or whatever?
I mean, I, I would think yes, sort of, but if they didn't do something, I mean, this was the only thing they could do. This was,
Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty much the only thing they
absolutely.
could do to save themselves. So,
I
but
think it depends on how they deal with
thinking
it
of
when
that,
they come back. Because if they're going to be all cocky about it after, then of course they're going to want to target them. But if they got Thomas out and then they found a way to actually work with them, then maybe they're not as much of a threat.
Yeah.
right? I think we'll find out next episode. All right.
But when they went to tribal though, like they went through the whole episode trying to say that they don't really work together, right? Or they don't really have anything between them. But at the tribal, didn't they kind of admit that they're closer than it appeared, or no?
Almost.
Oh, yeah, they talked about how they had like certain commonalities all of each other
Yeah,
that
that's what it was. Yeah, I kind of wish
Yeah,
they.
so they
I don't
kind of
think that's
almost
giving away
blew it till
anything.
there.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's giving away. They spent 9 days together. Of course, they're gonna have
Yeah.
talked,
Yeah,
got to know each other.
That goes to show you how well they played together to not spoil it, even at that moment when they could have spoiled it. Like they had to control everything they said.
Yeah, and I was impressed, like, by how little time they had to even talk to each other and make sure their stories lined up before approaching the other guys. And although, again, they don't show everything, but it just seemed like they 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 really made sure that without really communicating with each other very much, that what their plan was, and it just seemed like they both were on the same page, amazingly, com- compared to how much they actually talked to each other. All right, let's move over to the Orange Siva tribe. Kind of middling scores for all these people here. This was Mitch, Bianca, Chrissy, Cedric, and Cy, and the STFU ratings have Mitch as number 1 at the top, 3.8. Bianca and Chrissy just below with 3.4. And of course, Cedric and Cy coming from Green Vulu at 2.4 and 2.2 respectively at the bottom. Let's start with Andre. Andre, what do you think about this this Orange Siva tribe, where they are at right now?
Okay, a couple of things. You'll let this part out, okay? Because I want to know: is it Sai or Say? Isn't it Say?
It is Say.
It's
Did I say Sai?
Yes.
Oh
Okay.
shoot! It's
So-
because why? It's because Bobby said the weapon, and that's why I keep thinking it's.
I thought Andre kept saying that.
That was
Oh.
this
Weapon.
episode.
I don't know. Someone started it. Okay, sorry. I'm not going to edit this out. It's Say.
No! Okay, it's because in my head I'm like saying the whole time, say. Okay.
I should spell
and
it
then
differently
you said
on our sheet.
sigh, and I was like, no. And then I doubted myself, and all I could fear was that Bob was going to make fun of my Spanish accent and the way I said say. So I had to double check how we pronounce it. So I think this is a great opportunity for Say and Cedric to kind of form, a bond and being able to move forward together and try to build a bond with somebody else. But literally right away, it's just like I gave Cedric really low numbers just because he trusts Say a lot, but she just throws him under the bus. Like right away, oh, you gotta get your own vibe from him instead of having the support. says a lot about her, who she is. And I really like the genuine connection that Mitch and Cedric had. Um, and I thought that was cool. And again, that made me think of you, Mitch, as well. And like that connection, I don't know if that hit something home with you while you watched it, but I like the tribe. I think it's good, and I'm excited to see what Say does to disrupt people and annoy people in this tribe now.
Well, let's have Coach Mitch follow up on that.
Then that's what you're saying is that like when Mitch was talking about the sounds that he struggles with, the sounds that I struggled
Correct.
with, to the uh, a mum's a buzz, kismet, like any sound in which you have to close your airway, and then still with me, like it get really tense, and now that's how I would struggle, and with Mitch would be the same way. So his would be more of a stutter, and then mine would just be more of like an air blockage. So very similar. So that really hit home with me. It was cool that Cedric and Mitch were able to bond over that. I did not have anyone that like that growing up until I met somebody when I was in high school. His name was Chad, and so he spoke better than me. So Chad was someone which I could strive to be alike and to get closer to being affluent. And then so yeah, that part hit home for me as well. So yeah.
I thought, and just to kind of, when I thought of you, when I saw that, to me, as I coach my girls this year in basketball, like I see you coaching, and I know you're passionate. I'm very passionate too. And when I coach, I talk a lot, and I'll be like, "Hey, girls, you gotta do this, you gotta do this," in this fast pace. And then when I went to go watch your game this week, it really hit home. Where I'm like, how does he do it? Where he's able to like overcome that in such a fast pace, have calm demeanor, and being able to get your point across within a time restriction in a timeout to be able to do that. So I just gained a lot more respect from your own challenges, going with what you can do in life and what the challenges you've overcome, and just never seeing it in myself. And so watching Survivor, seeing this happen, seeing Mitch, the player, with Coach Mitch here, and kind of having a realization that I'm like, oh, it's really cool. I've never asked you about it. It just kind of portrayed you in a different way that I've never seen. So just gotta give you that respect and shout out that I appreciate what you've done and with your with what you can overcome. So
Well,
You're
I
here.
appreciate that. Yeah, thank you very much, Andre. Yeah, they
Uh,
don't normally think of that stuff on a regular basis. They go when you mention, I have a timeout. It's only a minute. Yeah, I usually have to be very yeah, thoughtful and to be very intentional with my words. And so yeah, I usually have some queued up stuff in which we can talk about that. But yeah, I never thought of it like that. So thank you very much.
this is eye opening and epic episode, guys. This is good. Love it. Good stuff here.
I have a
Thank you.
question though. Just from growing up with you, Mitch.
Mhm.
Um, I haven't seen you coach that much, but I know there are times when you don't stutter. It's like if you were to sing a song or to rap or
Mhm.
something, the stutter goes away. And I almost think when you get like intense, I think it almost goes away too. Is that true? So in a
Um,
coaching situation, it's an intense situation. Would you
focus
notice
in.
if your
Yeah.
stutter kind of goes away a little bit
I
or no?
guess. Yeah. I like. You're right. I'm at my worst when I'm either really nervous or really
Yeah,
excited,
yeah,
and then in that moment in a basketball, say coaching wise, I am that the person in which everyone's looking towards. So in that a moment, I need to be calm and collected and not, overexcited and all that. I think that helps. in being a more affluent, and also in of those intense situations where something's like like a foul or really often go to bat for my players. I think of that. That luckily, there's a lot of the words in which I don't have to close my airway, and I can just get out right away.
But like, am I right when when you sing or rap or something like
Oh,
the sing along,
absolutely.
so it goes away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Mainly because I probably have said those lyrics or sang that song so many times in my head as well. That could also be the practice. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, now the rest we can't.
Perfect. You
All
heard it
right.
here first, guys. Next week, Mitch is gonna sing to us. The only girl in the world by Rihanna. He's gonna rap it. Here we go.
Let's go.
With vocal
Yeah,
backgrounds from Bobby.
yeah,
Karaoke night next session.
yeah. You
This
should.
is great stuff, guys. This is awesome. But okay, so Mitch, what are your thoughts about the tribe itself?
Okay,
This joining of, let's see. Well, you have two ex Siva, two ex Vulu, and Bianca, the only one for Logie in the middle with no vote.
yeah, it's a really interesting thing. I like to see this tribe go to Carbon Council next because I like Cedric thinks that Snai is all with them, but sorry, Snai is not. And then so Mitch and Chrissy are kind of in the middle, but Bianca's trying to be this that swing vote without having a vote. So it's really interesting. No, I gave Mitch and Chrissy the advantage rankings wise because they seem most together, and I think Mitch will bring in Cedric, and then I think it's Bianca and Stay that would be in trouble at Tribal.
Bob, any follow up to that?
I do have some. So
I
this
thought you would.
episode opened my eyes just to how some people are playing and thinking. Kyle and Camilla, for example, and then others, a bunch on this tribe, are not, who are not aware. So Chrissy at one point said that she hasn't talked to Mitch. And so I'd be like, you never talked to Mitch? And then Mitch, you never talked to Chrissy? Because it does go both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cedric, he said, what we have is loyalty. So what are they doing? How could you be a winning tribe with somebody for days and not really talk to them one on one? I would eventually, you got to talk to everybody. So my rankings for these people mostly went down. Cedric probably the most oblivious, and I thought from the edit after the merge when they were showing Bianca a bunch, I thought, are we going to see the Bianca show now? Nope, she wasn't shown for the rest of the episode.
But what's clever that she hasn't been shown. But remember when we talked about it 2 episodes ago, how she talked to Star for like, we're like, oh, Bianca got 5 seconds of fame and saying, "Hi, I'm Bianca. Are you Star?" And that's all they showed. And then this episode they showed how they actually talked about what the people who went on the journey talked about and what they said they were. So she had some information. Same thing with Camilla. Or was that sorry? That was Camilla and Star, right? Or was that
Yes.
Bianca? Maybe. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna be quiet again. Sorry, Bob. I gave you more ammunition. Dang it!
Oh,
Dang it,
I
Bob!
gotta write this down. Hold on.
No. Okay. Sorry, viewers. Sorry, viewers.
I'll note that I gave Cedric a 3 and then Say a 2. And the reason I gave Say a 2 is like a lower than Cedric is because when Bianca approaches Say to start an alliance with her and Cedric, like the right answer is yes, let's do it. Not, well, you know what, take Cedric's temperature first and see if you want to work with him. It's like that. You got to get numbers like right away, as soon as possible,
Yeah.
and that is not the right thing to do. Um, like right off the bat is deny a possibility of creating a majority in the tribe. So that was horrible. That's why I give Say a 2. Maybe I shouldn't even give her a 1, but I'm not going to change it now. Tony, you got any thoughts? on this tribe?
Yeah, I kind of want to go back to Andre's comment about Cedric and Say, and like they could have worked together, but they didn't. But if you recall last episode, Cedric voted twice to get Say out, so there's no way she's gonna forgive him for that. So she was gonna be quick to turn on him. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
like, why would he keep her? That's still like bothers
yeah.
me.
Well, yeah, he shouldn't have
Yeah,
kept her in the first place.
yeah,
But
that's the mistake we talked about last week.
Yeah, like it's just
yeah,
so wild.
yeah.
So,
But there's no way that Say was gonna work with Cedric after that.
which goes back to Bobby's point of like, are these guys even playing the same game? Like, are they aware of what they're doing and what they're saying? It's weird. I would like to see a Survivor season of just all the dysfunctional people, just
Oh,
like
geez.
having a say, and it's Cedric, and just these random people who are just not good.
Well,
That's an idea.
I remember the last season when Hell got served up a piece of humble pie when he found out everything that was happening around him, and he had no clue.
Yeah,
So
and his
that's
face was
to
like,
like
what?
this
Yep,
entire tribe.
yep, I agree, 100%.
All right, let's move on to the new purple Loggy tribe, and it's it's David and four girls. How the STFU rankings shake out here? We got David at the top, 3.6, Mary at 3.4, Eva 2.8, and her ex tribe mate who's still with her, Star, also at 2.8, and then we have Charity at the bottom at 2.2. So let's start this one off with Bob. Bob, lead us off on this tribe.
Oh, I probably have the least amount to say on this tribe. Jay, where's the heads up? Where are the warnings?
No warnings.
This tribe, when the merge happened, I thought would have been kind of in the middle. I expected the green tribe to do the best, but I was completely wrong in for challenge stuff. Um, I don't know. This tribe's a funny one. David got another spotlight in this episode. Charity seems to be one of the ones who's just not quite aware. She's talking a big game about how she's in control of David and stuff, but don't think that's reality. All right. What's your thoughts? Someone else?
Great insight, Bob. Great insight. Wow.
I want to go. I want to go to Mitch next because he's the only one that gave Eva a 4. Myself and Andre gave Eva a 2. Um, and the reason I gave her a 2 is because she seemed way too eager to serve up Star on a silver platter. That's why I gave her a 2. And like, at least waiting and seeing how things were going to shake out. But that's why I gave her a 2. Andre, why'd you give her a 2?
Before I go, you just said I'm gonna go to Mitch for this.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about our 2s first before we go to Mitch's
Oh,
4.
same thing. I was like, she just gave her up like nothing, and I think I don't want to say this because I don't want to offend anybody, but is her disability affecting her, in like a really negative way in this game? Because is that like part of her disability? She can't realize like what she's doing. Um, yeah, because to do that is weird. And I had high hopes for her. I thought she'd be great. And the more the show keeps going on, the more I'm like, what is happening here? What are you doing? Just do your job, and everything else will figure itself out. But she keeps what's it called, doing these weird moves. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Mitch, your rebuttal.
All right, here's what I gave her a 4 because I think that like she made that bond with David, and I kind of think that David is going to protect her, and I think it's that when they go to tribal, it's are they going to have say a quote unquote easy vote with Eva, and as we know in Survivor, it's never an easy vote. So I just think of that. She'll be used as a name that gets thrown out, but it'll be used to blindside somebody like a Charity or probably a Star. I think that a Mary will be okay with that. try because she is a tough free agent. But I think that Eva has put herself in a position in which she is the easy vote, but easy votes don't normally go through in Survivor. So that's why I gave her the 4.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. Especially that turn lines with David. Anyone else got notes on this tribe?
See. Well, I think Bob mentioned it, but just from looking when the swap happened, to me they look like the weakest team because it's David with a bunch of women. But yeah, they surprised me at the challenge that they won. One thing I noticed, I'm not a fan of David, and I'm not sure about you guys. I can't remember, but I just don't like it when someone likes to talk about themselves. So when he says he's empathetic, like I don't say it, like be it, right? So that's just kind of like a negative that I get from him.
I noticed that too. Is that he does like to talk himself a lot, and he makes that chocolate milk thing such a big deal, and
And the water
how he
thing.
hates water. It's one example.
What about, like, we're not going to talk about how he threw his girlfriend under the bus again? Like, hello. So I went back and checked. Last week's episode, he said he had a girlfriend, that she was going to break up with him if he doesn't win the 100 million because she wants a family, wants to restart, wants to have financial stability, and she doesn't know how they're going to do that right now. This episode, he doesn't have a fiance. She broke up with him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Maybe we
Yeah.
should check his socials, find
Yeah,
out if
what's
he
the
actually has a
actual
girlfriend.
story
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
I'd like to know more about that. Maybe that's something we'll do for next episode. But
His relationship
what is
status
the
is
story?
based on the other women on his tribe.
Like, I don't know what the deal is. Like,
That's true.
I don't think he's going to have a relationship by the end because of the way he's talking about his significant other.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to ask: did anyone else notice the mole look thing over
His right
Eva's?
shoulder. Oh no.
No, Eva's lip. The whole like, I was like, does she always have a mole right in the middle of her lip? And
Oh
I
no.
didn't notice that.
I
it
noticed that
bothered
there's
me.
a new mark there. I don't think it was there before. It must be some sort of scrape or
Yeah,
something
I
there.
looked it up. It wasn't something from previous shows. So
Andre doing his
yeah,
research.
I gotta do my research exactly. So my wife said it's always been there, so I had to make sure that I checked that it wasn't there. So I gotta win.
You can be the new fact checker, podcast fact checker.
Only check on random things that don't really matter. So, but yeah, I thought that was wild that David just threw his fiance, girlfriend, significant other under the bus.
I think, unfortunately for her, I think she's going to be found out about who she is, and there's going to be a lot of comments and things directed towards her, at her.
Maybe it's a Manti Teo kind of thing. Maybe there is no girlfriend and it's just a made up story, and we'll find out after. So we'll find out,
Ooh.
right? Manti Teo,
Yeah.
you heard it here, folks. STFU.
Hot take.
Okay, when that happens, hot topic. So Shefty's gonna break it. Go ahead.
All right, those were our tribes. Those were the STFU rankings we gave everybody. Let's talk about other things that happened in the show. There was really only a reward challenge, no journey. Let's talk about that reward challenge. Tone, you got some notes on that?
I think I mentioned
Or
already.
sorry, there's immunity challenge and reward challenge combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mentioned that green looked the strongest, and to me, purple looked the weakest. But the results were opposite. Purple ended up winning. Green lost. It's not a right challenge, and the green team not putting Camilla in to do the puzzle was a mistake on their part.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think her vantage point wasn't as good as she thought it was going to be.
Yeah, if she
back
could have
on the
moved
method.
around, like if she wasn't physically moving the pieces, at least she could have been moving around and directing them better.
Yeah. Maybe she had to stay on to the mat and she couldn't move around.
No, if she was part of the group that was putting the puzzle
absolutely.
together, then she would have been able to move around. But since she wasn't part of it, she had to stay on the mat.
Yeah.
It was cool to see her, Shaheen, like lift her up and hold her up. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was
that's right.
cool. Bob, I'm really good at puzzles. Would you hold me up on your shoulders? I just gotta ask. Would you, Bob?
It's a big ask.
Bob, why are you
It's a big
hesitating, Bob?
ask. Get it?
Because my heart is so
Laugh
big,
track.
Is
right?
he big ass or big ask?
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa,
I don't know if I
language,
heard that right.
language.
Something's wrong
Yeah,
with my headphones.
come on.
And so-
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
sorry to all our underage viewers out there. But we know
Jeez.
that Survivor is up for everyone, so yeah, we apologize for
Exactly.
that.
You know
But
what I
it's
did
because of my
like
big
about
heart. Okay.
what I did like about the challenges was every back and forth. One team has the lead, another one comes back, has the lead, swapped again.
Yeah, and like Ann said, I thought the Purple Tribe was going to have trouble with David and the four girls. Just moving that huge giant cube, right? That looked huge, but they still managed it. It was impressive.
I have a
And,
question
and
for
moving
all of
those
you.
big heavy sandbags out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of Survivor watcher, like, are you guys? Are you guys the sit and watch and go, oh yeah, good move? Or are you the get up and cheer and yell kind of Survivor watcher? That's what I'm eager to find out. Bobby, I feel like you're this, like the loud, screechy yeller with a high pitch.
I think you have me confused with
Are you sure, Bob?
maybe Let's Go Mitch.
I'd like to hear what you guys do, because I just yell, I'm like, let's go and go, and I'm like, no, and I constantly change teams while I'm watching. I'm like, no, yes, go that
Yeah.
team, and then I switch to the next team. I'm like, no, I want that team to win. No, I called this team was gonna win, and I basically said that each team was gonna win, and each team was gonna lose throughout the whole challenge. So what kind of viewer are you?
I definitely pick my favorite, but I'm not actively cheering. More just watching, observing.
I'm too busy taking notes to cheer.
I'm pretty
Colin, what
chill.
about you?
I'm pretty
You
chill
pretty chill?
usually. Yeah.
For me, Megan and I'll watch it, and we're usually yelling at the TV, yelling at the players, or cheering. I guess that a couple episodes when Mitch was doing for a 4 in a row, I was standing up or getting ready to get out of my seat. So like I'm an active participant in the challenges, and sometimes throughout the episode when the people are scheming, we're in the background going, "Yes," or "Let's go," or "Dance my puppets dance," kind of thing. Yeah, so yeah.
That's awesome. I just wanted to know, so it's good. I just know who I should invite over to watch it with me. So
We should have a party of like one of the 2 hour episodes or something like that. I wish I
The
would watch
finale.
We
a
couldn't
party,
watch this with
or even
Jay.
like,
Jay
yeah.
would be too bossy. Guys,
But I
what happened
wouldn't
there? What happened
be
there? I need
able
to write
to
this down.
watch the I love the ones episode with you guys because that just tweaks my heart way too much. So I can't watch that episode with you guys.
Mitch would be too busy
Edit
crying.
this part. Edit this
Yeah.
part. Edit out this part. Just kidding.
unedited
I was gonna
version
make a
of
comment,
everything.
but I'm not gonna make a comment.
No, make the comment.
Nope. It's not socially acceptable.
Uh
Then you better make it.
oh.
It'd be kind of cool to do the finale.
Yeah.
We could,
If we
could
can manage to watch it at the same time.
watch party and then podcast immediately afterwards. What?
No. Just have us like watching the episode, like reacting live to every thing.
Oh yeah, and then streaming that.
Yeah.
I would love to, but according to Bob, I can't afford sound when I watch, so I couldn't be able to watch it with you guys. So I'd have to come over to one of your houses.
One last thing, or anyway, my comment on that challenge was player Mitch was clutch again when he was chucking those sandbags through that hoop, that puzzle hoop.
Oh yeah.
Went underhand again and just landing those sandbags on the barrel.
It's got the granny shots going.
Yeah, he got the granny shots going. He's clutch. He's
That
clutch.
guy's impressive for sure.
Do you like these puzzles better than the stand up ones that are like, I don't know. I like these puzzles a lot better. The ones they have
3D
this year
ones?
so far. Yeah, these 3D ones seem a little bit harder and
Yeah.
Yes.
more fun. I would like the one thing I liked about the other ones is, and I don't know if this has happened, if you guys can let me know, but Has anyone ever tipped it over when they were really close to finishing?
I think it's been
I'll,
close, but I don't recall
I'll
the
probably in the
puzzle.
past a few of the stand-up ones have fallen.
No.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like these
I'm sure.
puzzles. They're good. They're different.
What else, guys? Anything else?
General?
And just in general, yeah.
Yeah, we never talked about Mary and Say getting along at the beginning of the episode. I didn't
They
think that
could
was,
have been like the greatest alliance duo of all time. If
I didn't think they were
Say
going to
would have
actually try
picked her up
like they
first.
did. They even left Mary a note that they were looking for idols.
How long was
Yeah,
she
that's
gone?
surprising.
Yeah.
Make us
Yeah.
dick message.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
something to watch out for come the merge.
Do you think it was genuine though?
Oh no. Not at all. Not even close.
Who knows?
I thought it was one of those like, oh, you guys need to behave. Okay, we'll behave. And the one moment that like they have to, it's like they will, and then the second that there's an opportunity to turn each other, they will. Well, say will. Not. I felt Mary was like, you know what? I'm just writing this out till I don't have to work with her anymore. I do like that Mary said, I apologize for the camp. Like, think about Mary. She's went from the worst camp ever to a camp that has food, what's it called? A hammock,
Yeah.
and or how they pronounce it, how do they say, like, hammock? It was some weird way they pronounce it. I was like, what?
You gotta have sound, Andre. You gotta watch the thing with sound.
I
Yeah.
just couldn't figure it out. I was like, hammock?
Subtitles
was
aren't
weird.
doing it for you.
I can't read that fast. It's hard. Especially because it's in English. Come on.
Yeah, especially would have been hard for those loggy guys, the California girls, going from even just having fire to not and not having anything.
I think this will show what kind of character Joe has, because it's really easy, like we've said this before, to be positive and bring your crew together when you're winning and things are happening. But now when you're in the dumps, when you don't have fire, how are you going to bring people together? How are you going to this is going to show their character for sure. So I'm excited to see what happens.
And you can't make a bonfire.
No.
Do you think that Joe could make that fire without a flint?
Ooh. I think Eva can. She can do anything.
People have tried in previous seasons to try to build a fire without a flint, right?
They've
Yeah,
done
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
You know, tie the rope around the twig thing, and
Somebody's wearing glasses. They double them up.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
When do we think the merge will happen? Do you thought they'd be after the next episode?
What are they at now?
There's still like 15 people, isn't there?
There's 14 people now.
14, and then
They usually do it when
going
there's
to the
down
merge
to
with 13.
12 or 13 left. They usually do it.
So, do you want Say to be part of the jury or not? I kind of want her to be part of it, but just to see her face of like, oh, I want to say something, but I can't.
Oh
And her
yeah,
reactions.
her reactions. She has big reactions.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see, but I kind of don't want her to make it that far.
Like her reaction at the swap when she's like, what'd she say? She said that I want to see these two other tribes go at each other, and we're in the middle, and this is perfect. And
Yeah, why would she say that?
That
She
was
just
awful.
like expose herself there.
Yeah, exactly. Charity raised an eyebrow at that.
Yeah, she said it in her like beginning. She usually gets in trouble for speaking her mind. So that's what's happening to her. You'll see.
Well, she's good television, right? She's gonna create chaos. So yeah, let's. Hopefully, I'm hoping personally that she makes it far enough to not win, but get on that jury and create some chaos.
Yeah. Do you think we can bring back Sierra for the jury? Just thought I'd ask. Can you put it out there? Maybe it'll work. As a co-host for a couple juries. I don't need to hear sound for that, Bob. It's all good.
Any last thoughts on this episode? No, if not, okay, this is a good place to wrap it up. So, gentlemen, awesome session today. Very eye-opening. Also, on a few topics. Just great all around. Love recording with you guys.
Shout out to all of the people that listen to our a podcast.
Hi, Megan.
Not how many of you. Megan's one of them. Yeah, but all the other people that listen, thank you very much.
I'd
Yes,
like to
thank
make
you
them
for
shut up,
hearing.
but I'm not sure if they actually do.
Share it with your friends. You know, when you reach 100 streams, we'll offer you $100.
Whoa, whoa,
Whoa.
whoa! Andre said that, not any of us.
There you go. I've been saving up. Let's go. So
All right, let's end it there, guys. Let's sign off. So if someone comes up to you and asks, "What's a new podcast about Survivor I should listen to?" You should say, STFU.
F
F
you.
All right. See you later, everyone. Until next week.
Hi, listeners. Bobby Sun.